I am Shrutika, and today at Indie Press we are with Anupam Srivastava, who is a leading enhancer, transformation mentor, social worker, counselor, mind coach, thinker, and spiritual speaker. He has worked extensively with a wide range of people over 35 years. As a practitioner, he worked extensively with dysfunctional children and families, including child protection and looked after children. Sir has not only taught but also trained hundreds of students, professionals, and volunteers in translating theory into practice. His talent and expertise lies in his ability to recognize and identify psychological barriers to learning and make the transformational journey a pleasant experience for his students and mentees. His 40 years journey of spiritual exploration was guided by his spiritual guru, late Swami Chinmayanda Srivastava of Chinmaya Mission, whose highly intellectual, logical, scientific, and rational interpretations of various Upanishads, Gita, and several translations in English of Adi Shankaracharya's Granths and commentaries appealed to his own scientific temperament and helped him draw parallels between objective science of modern psychology and subjective science of spirituality. So we'll start with the book unveiling session.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do I do it myself?
Yeah, do. What is Hinduism and how come you write this book?
What is Hinduism?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Do you have any idea?
I think it will be better if you explain it to us.
Irony is it's a question that nobody has the answers for. Anybody knows who is Hindu and why are you Hindu? That's the reason I'm writing this book, so that readers can become aware of what makes you a Hindu. When you say I'm a Hindu, what does it mean to you? I am born into a Hindu family, or I am not a Christian, or I am not Islamic, or any other religion, hence I am Hindu. Is that definition acceptable to us? So if I say I am a Hindu, then there must be a reason as to what makes you Hindu. And that's what we need to understand. And that is a question not directly but indirectly handled in this book. Because there are some questions you ask any Hindu young person or any person who is Hindu. The simplest of the questions they won't be able to answer. Do you celebrate Diwali? Do you know why we celebrate Diwali?
Because of Lord Rama.
Came back as a victory of good over evil. The entire nation knows only these two reasons. Anything beyond, we have no clue. So these are some of the questions I thought young people need to educate themselves. You young people are very excellent in doing what they do in their life. They become excellent professionals. They make huge amount of money. They know anything and everything about the entire world. But what they don't know is who they really are. So the science that helps you and me understand why I am a Hindu is called Hinduism. Basically, in
Knowing yourself.
knowing yourself. The entire subject matter of Vedic literature is you and me. So Ved is studying you and me, right? So we need to know who we are. And once we begin to understand who we are, you become Hindu. Okay. Anybody who knows who they are, and even this question, if it asks you this question, who are you? So what is your answer? So your answer is what?
Human beings with emotions.
So your mind will go on to fast lane mode, driving on 90 miles, and you're trying to think so many smart answers. Who am I? Is my name is me? Is my parentage? Is my language? Is my physiology, physical aspect, physical dimension? So no matter what you think about yourself, you cannot go beyond describing your body. I am black, white, thin, fat, whatever that may be. I am female, I am male, I'm mother, I'm this and that. Or you will at best talk about your emotional state of being, I'm a jolly person, I'm a happy person, I'm a depressed person, or you have certain ideas. So Sharir Man Buddhi is the limit beyond which nobody can go and think. But how much you define this question, you will only remain within this thing. But this is a description of your Sharir Man Buddhi, body, mind, intellect. Question is, who are you? So when this question is posed to you, you talk about your body. Three things, Sharir Man. But the question remains unanswered. So who am I? Do you know who are you? I'm conversing with you. I'm not challenging you. I'm not expecting you to answer this question because I know the answer and nobody knows it. Everybody knows how much they want to make and how they're going to make it. If you can't make it through proper means, and we see all this drama being played in front of us. Well, you don't have to take alternative or criminal means to become rich. And becoming religious or spiritual does not mean you stop earning money or shave your head or wear an orange or white. That's not what it is. It's all about knowing yourself and bring yourself to a state of being where this statement which says there is nothing I cannot do becomes your reality. As you know there is nothing you cannot do, then you have no stress. And you know how you bring yourself to that level of understanding. These are the techniques that I'm discussing in this book. And our religion, it's not a religion. Hinduism has provided all this technology. But our problem is we are totally ignorant about our own scriptures, our own religion, or whatever you spirituality, whatever you call it. So all we know in the name of spirituality,
Meditation.
puja, part.
Okay.
I'm not saying when I'm saying and smiling, I do not want to denigrate these procedures. These are procedures or things that people do in the name of being religious. But whatever you do, you cannot explain it. Can you? You say, why do you do arti?
That, so, in my family, it is believed that we do aarti for, it is psychologically related for routines, okay? And then it keeps you, uh, yeah, I think it's mostly for making you.
You're trying to find an intelligent answer. Okay, that's fine. That's problem for most of us. Problem is, I'm not trying to compare science and spirituality. It cannot be compared. But if we look from our scientific interpretation of life, can you have more than one reason for an effect? If something is being caused, there must be if there's an effect, there must be a cause. So long as this cause is there, we'll have the same effect every time, isn't it? So why it is that I'm trying to answer any question, why do we do Aarti? She has her own answers. Her family has her own answer. You have your own understanding. She has her own understanding. Why? Why we have 10 different understandings about simple activity called Aarti? The reason for that is because we have never bothered to find out. And the argument that I'm presenting in this book that each and every religious activity that we perform are very scientifically prescribed. They have a very specific purpose for performing those activities. They're not just say, oh, mandir chale jao. Why should I go to temple? What purpose mandir serves? Why do we go for Tirth Yatras? Or why do we do so many other things? Bhajan, jap, meditation you mentioned. So even people do meditation, they do it because somebody has asked them to do it. But you cannot explain it. Why I'm doing it. You do meditation because everybody is doing it. I do it as well. It's a posh. It's a talking point, isn't it? I do meditate every day. Where I say, but for what end? Why do you do anything? If you're walking, you're going somewhere, you know where you're going, isn't it? You never walk without an address. But in Hindu practices, majority of the things we do without an address to it. We just do it. Why? Because my mother does it, my nanny does it, or my grandfather does it, or I belong to a sect. Hence, we must do certain things in certain ways, and we do it all our life. It's like somebody says to you, if you have a headache, take aspirin. You take aspirin or whatever the medicine name is, and you feel good about it. Now you know aspirin works, and now you're taking aspirin all your life. You say, why you're taking aspirin? Because it works. Yeah, I know, but do you have a problem? Say, no. Why are you taking aspirin? Oh, because when I did last time it worked. So do you do that? Do you eat aspirin every day? But we do this every day, isn't it? I'm not saying you should not do it, but I'm saying whatever you do you know why you do it? That's the argument. I'm not denigrating anything. Because there are three things that you need to understand. One is the fundamental knowledge of spirituality. I'm not questioning it because I have no capability or status to challenge it. What I'm challenging is my understanding of this knowledge and my practice of this knowledge. So, is my practice and my understanding in line with the fundamental knowledge, or I have created my own arguments? I don't know. If you ask any question, everybody has their own answers. I do it because X, Y, Z. I do it because no, I have got this reason. Oh, I think this is. I'm not talking about it, man. I'm saying like in science. I'm not saying it. Well, it is science. Spirituality is science, but we understand the word science in a very different context. Science is the science of objective world. Spirituality is the science of subjective world. How I view it, how I experience it. That is the science. But nonetheless, both of them are sciences. Point I'm making is, like science, why can't it be precise? It's not precise. My understanding of it is not precise. It's not. Science is precise. But I first of all I don't know it. I only know what I've been told. And then because nobody is telling me I'm intelligent, so I can find my own reasons. Think about it. And that's what we do. And so if doing all this religious practice is what life should be, I have not done any religious practice for the last 45 years. I go to temple not because I'm going to do anything there, because I want to appreciate the architectural beauty of the temple. But for me, mandir has never served that purpose. But I'm not saying mandir does not serve that purpose. Mandir does serve that purpose. There is a purpose. Why mandirs were designed, why mandirs were described as a tool, as a technique, and what specific purpose does it serve. But if it is serving some specific purpose, then I need to know, is that purpose being served? होता क्या है? I go to temple, I sit there. Like for example, I tell you, I was in Maharashtra, and my friend took me to a local temple, a beautiful, very old temple. And when we were going around, after going around, he said to me, "Let us sit down for 5 minutes." I said, "What?" He said, "Let us sit down for 5 minutes." I said, "Okay." So we sat down. So I said, "But why did we sit down?" He said, "मंदिर में आने के बाद 5 मिनट बैठना चाहिए." मैं कहा, "वो तो मैं बैठ गया, लेकिन क्यों बैठना चाहिए?" कहते, "मंदिर में बैठने से ईश्वर का आशीर्वाद प्राप्त होता है, मैं खड़े होने से नहीं होता." It was an argumentative. So what he was saying is exactly the science. Mandir, when you enter the mandir and stay in mandir, it helps. But mandir is not the concrete structure. It is the when you go inside of your mind, man, and when into your mind, for that you need the technique of meditation and learn Number one, to control your mind, train your mind, and have control over it so that you can do whatever you want your mind to do. Right now, your mind is not in control. You could be very intelligent, securing 98% every year, but you can't have any control over your own mind. And mind can be controlled. For that, various stories are written, including Ramayana. So my Ramayana is story is telling you how do you do it, but because I have no clue, I just celebrate the story. Bhagwan Ram ka birthday, Ram Navami, yeah, whatever. Ye celebration, wo celebration, I do it. That's fine. But what I don't want to understand is why the story was written in the first place. So if you learn the art of taming your mind, then word is in your command.
There's this gap in society.
No, there's a gap in my understanding. Society is fine. There's no problem.
Yeah.
If I improve myself, if I change my own self, society will automatically change. You don't need to change anything. All we need to change, what I'm saying is, all young people have the potential to become masters of their destiny. But majority of them are mediocre. Somehow struggling in life, finding ways to earn money. If you can't earn it, you change your route, you become criminal, you cheat others, do all sort of other things because somehow you have understood having lot of money will make you happy. So money should be happy then. Yeah, right? The question is there not. But anyway, it's a very vast topic. We can carry on doing it. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I have. So, as you have mentioned, what spiritual practices will the readers encounter through this book? As you have also mentioned that this book gives the scientific perspectives on spiritual practices.
No. It does not give a scientific perspective.
The technological
It
point.
brings out the science out of it. It's already there. It is a science. What I'm trying to do is just to bring it out and tell you. And there is a chapter, I think, because I've written quite a few books, so I get confused which issue is being dealt with in which book. But I'm sure this book is talking about two ideas. So one is says Bahiranga Sadhana, which is external spiritual practices that we see all around us, include puja, part, bhajan, kirtan, and all that stuff. And other one is internal practices, the real spiritual advanced practices, which includes meditation, is is the science. So there I'm explaining why various Bahirang sadhanas that we know, whether it is jap, bhajan, kirtan, satsang, temple visit, tirth yatra, what are the prescriptions and why these prescriptions and what specific purpose does these things serve. So when you are following a prescription, then you must know the disease and you should know the symptom of the cure, isn't it? You can't just follow a prescription not knowing why you're following it, and when you benefit out of it, you have no clue that are benefited, isn't it? So each prescription, like job, right? Why is job recommended? Job is recommended because of the nature of mind. If you keep saying your mind certain things, it starts believing it. Mind does not know what you're saying is real or fake. So if you say I can do anything under the sun. And if you keep doing this bhajan every day, all the time, every time, your mind will start to believe that is the case. And then it will say to you, yes, sir, you are right. There is nothing you cannot do. And then it will start to bring things in your experience to validate this statement that you have been chanting. So chanting has a purpose. It's not recommended, yeah, bhajan gaओ. या नारायण 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 या वॉट एवर ओम गणपति नमा. अब ओम गणपति का मतलब क्या है जो आप चैंट कर रहे हो व्हाट डज इट. So when you don't know what the damn thing is, what effect would it have? No, it's like if I talk to you in Chinese, what do you understand?
It's just sound.
So whether I chant Gayatri month, which I don't understand, or speak to you in Chinese, both of them have the same effect, which is nothing. It has no effect, right? So Like this, every spiritual activity has a very specific prescription designed for a specific purpose, but we don't understand it. So, for example, if you recite it, अभी मैंने एक छोटी बच्ची से एक्सपेरिमेंट किया फर्स्ट एक्सपेरिमेंट शी सेड आई सेड व्हाट टाइम डू यू वेक अप इन द मॉर्निंग शी इज अ half 6 I said can you wake up earlier than half 6 she said 6 I said no early I said can you wake up 4 o'clock and she got fall on the floor she fell on the floor oh no I can't do it 4 is too early I've never done it I said you will do it tomorrow morning really but I can't I said no you will I said I'll give you a mantra. You recite this mantra with a lot of commitment and dedication, as if you really, really want to wake up. And when you wake up, you send me a WhatsApp message, and then you go back to sleep. You don't have to get up. Okay, you have to just wake up. And she did. What time do you think she would have sent with the message?
Correct food or the bit?
4:01.
Oh,
She woke up. Since then, that girl is waking up at 4 o'clock. Waking up at 4 o'clock is not important for her. What is important is she believed waking up at 4 o'clock is difficult. Now it is normal. How? What has changed?
psychology.
All has changed is your thoughts
Yeah.
about an aspect of your life. If you
Yeah.
change your thought, your experience changes, and your life changes. Okay, and that's how it is. People who have achieved not because they were extra intelligent or they had 98% all the time. No, I never had 98 in my entire life. I'm a 50%er. Okay, but I was a very successful businessman. Still do. I have earned a lot of money. So what does it mean? That I've committed a crime after getting 50% of my life? How dare I earn money? No. Intelligence has nothing to do with what you end up doing. It's all to do with what you think. The moment I kept thinking that I'm capable, I'm not capable. These things are not designed for me. I'm not intelligent. Life served me that way. The moment I had a spark
Yeah.
and I turned the way I thought about myself, my life took a upward trajectory. And to the extent I was so confident about myself, at the age of 50, I decided to retire. For last 10 years, I'm retired and I don't do anything for making money because I know I can live and survive and be happy without it or with it. It doesn't really matter because money has nothing to do with happiness. Okay, it's just a manifestation of your efforts. It serves a purpose in life. Okay, if you have more, it will serve a purpose. If you don't have more, but it depends. That's where I think the transition has to take place in my understanding. Who am I when I know my real personality? All these materialism, though necessary and important, lose their potency to affect me.
Yeah.
It's not that I've stopped eating food or I don't wear clothes, but for me, clothes has a specific purpose in my life. Okay, you will not see any word written whatever I wear because I don't want to be a billboard. Okay, to me, it doesn't really matter whether I'm wearing Armani or I'm buying from Sarojini Nagari. If Sarojini Nagari is selling a decent outfit which I like, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
If a mall or a big store is selling something which I like, I will buy.
Yeah.
I have no problem. Yeah. But to me, it does not make any difference. It's like when in my previous understanding, if my car has a dent, I will be very ashamed. My BMW has a dent. Right? Now, if my BMW has a dent, I don't even think about it. I just wait for the next accident and then deal with the insurance company. Okay. So for other people are very concerned and they say, Anupam, you have got a dent on your car. I say, really? Yes, I think I have. So he said, wow, how did it happen? I said, you are far too very concerned than I. I said, I sit inside the car. Okay, I don't sit outside the car. So I don't look at my car from outside. Other people do. And for how many minutes they see my car? For a second when I'm driving, they see your BMW as a dent. Fine. Yeah. So I still drive a car. I still have a house. I still invest in property. But my attitude is altered. Yeah. I'm not earning because I need to survive. I can survive. But I know there are much better uses of money. So why should I keep my money in my locker or in my bank when that money sitting elsewhere can multiply itself, isn't it? But whether it multiplies or not does not bother me. I know it will multiply. Whether it multiplies or not doesn't matter. Okay, I know it is better than sitting in bank. So you're sitting as so whatever money I earn, there are better uses, and I think this is a better use. So I'm investing my money into my books. I write books, invest into printing them, and I'll still keep doing it. I've got two books ready. But anyway, point is, whatever you're asking me,
Yeah.
all these things I have prescribed, sorry, I've described in my book, and it's a very spirituality is scientific process, procedure. And if you do it right, you can gain the control of life that you experience to the extent, and I can help anybody do it in a matter of minutes. All these experiences of sadness and what is the other one? Sadness and pain,
Okay.
pain and pleasure. You can make this entire word redundant or effectless. Nothing will be able to cause any pain or inflict any pain or pleasure upon you if you practice it right. And that is the intention of spirituality. Once you know how mind works and you make it work, and it's not rocket science. Okay, you don't have to stand up on leg in Ganga or go to a cave. Okay, you don't have to do any of those things. All you have to do is simple practice, as you have practiced so many other things in life, isn't it?
Chanting is one of them. Or manifestations.
Chanting is important, but you need to know why. What are you chanting?
Ah,
For what purpose you're
yeah.
chanting? Chanting for the sake of chanting makes you high value parrot.
Yeah.
You know high value parrot. Parrots who can talk. Parrots talk.
Yeah.
They chant. They chant shlokas. And some one of my books I've written that little story. These parrots who can chant and give sermons, but they have no clue what they're chanting.
Yeah, yeah,
So there
exactly.
was a tota in an ashram. They used to chant shlokas and give a sermon that you should be careful. Hunter will spread the net and will catch you. It's a very powerful philosophical stuff. And one day they were not found. So when they were searching for them, they found 200 meters away from the ashram. These parrots are trapped in a net, but they're still chanting the same thing. Be careful. Beautiful. If you look at the rendition, it's beautiful. Pure Sanskrit. Amazing. If you close your eyes, you think the brahmacharis in the ashrams are chanting it. But do they have any clue what they're chanting? So when you chant, do you have any clue what you're chanting? So what this chanting does, I don't know, but it makes you a parrot. Beautiful parrot. And a lot of people do it. A lot of schools I visit, especially schools with spiritual slant to the
Yeah.
system, the morning, what you call them, assemblies.
Assemblies, yeah.
So there's a 4 or 5 kids chanting shlokas and whole lot of stutis and what have you. And I asked them, I said, pick a line or just pick a word out of this line and tell me what you understand. They're looking at my face. I said, you have chanted so beautifully. Don't you know what you're chanting? He said, no, sir. So I said, what is the point? So, answering to your question, chanting is a scientific prescription for a specific reason and purpose.
Yeah.
It should be applied only when it is needed. So, if you need to install a thought in your mind, it's an installation prescription. Something if you want to install, if you want to replace your negative thought with a positive thought, you chant that positive thought. I can, I can, I can, I can. If you do it, chiram, nityam, nirantaram. Chiram meaning for a period of time. Nityam, constantly every day. Nirantaram, without any gap. If you constantly chat either with sound or without sound, it doesn't matter. But if you constantly hold, hold that thought in your mind that I can, I can, I can, I can, then nothing will be impossible for you. Your attitude for any situation will be, whether you have done it or not in life, would be, okay, I've not done it, but I can do it. Let me find out. If otherwise, if your attitude is I can't, how can I do it? If you're ashamed of yourself, people will laugh at me. Blah, 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 blah. So you won't even attempt at the activity. You will go off sick. I'm not feeling well today. Why? You have to do a presentation, and you know you will fail at it, and everybody will laugh. You will be ridiculed, and now you can't handle that image in your mind. Everything is happening in your mind. There is no reality. Okay, this is happening in your mind, but for this you will see the evidence. If you chant I can in your mind, these positive thoughts will get installed in your mind. It works. So this girl I was talking about, the whole year she was struggling to get 50% in her fifth grade. So she came to me in December 18, and she was stressed. It was 2 months down the line for her final exam. She had 80% in fourth grade, and in fifth grade, for some reason, she was dropping, and she could not concentrate, could not focus. So I gave her some mantras. My mantras are in English. I don't use Sanskrit mantras. So she practiced those mantras for 2 months, and how much do you think she would have secured in 2 months' time? The one who is struggling to get 55, in 2 months' time, how much she can get? Huh? 70?
80, I think. 80.
She got 96.
Oh.
Now that girl is in 11th class. Every year without fail, she hits that mark. Every year. And she was saying to me, a week or 10 days before the exam, she stopped studying. A week or 10 days before exams, she stops studying. She has no stress, no problems, no tensions, and she does it. That is what spirituality must do to you. If I ask you to do puja, part, bhajan, kirtan at this age, you say, have you gone mad? Right? But what I have done with this girl is a spiritual practice, helping her to understand her own powers that God has given to her. God has given to all of us, but we never bother to tap into that power energy that is already there. And we keep begging. Bhagwan must be laughing if it is. If Bhagwan is there, he must be laughing. कि कैसे कैसे पागल पैदा किए, सब कुछ दे के भेज दिया, वो पोटली आज तक खोल के देखी नहीं, वो भीख मांगते रहते हैं, है ना? भगवान गिव मी दिस, भगवान गिव मी दैट. भगवान कहेगा भैया आई कांट हैव नथिंग मोर टू गिव यू, आई गिवन यू एवरीथिंग आई कैन. So, like job, that your question was, each and every activity is a very, very scientifically prescribed technique for a specific purpose, and we need to learn. And I have dealt with the subject matter reasonably well. You may agree with it or not, but you don't have to agree with my book. Have your own experience, and if it helps you, only then you believe. Not because it is written in a book. Books are
Yeah.
beautiful. Right? So whatever it says, if you practice it, and if it works for you, only then you believe. What I'm saying is, all we need to tell young people to understand what is mind, how it works, and how can I make it work. इसको बताने के लिए, I probably you may have heard of this name. I think everybody has heard this name in India. It's called Patanjali. Have you heard this name, Patanjali?
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about Patanjali pharmacy. I'm talking Maharshi Patanjali.
Yeah.
Maharshi Patanjali has synthesized the entire spiritual knowledge and is reduced it down to 8-step process. It is called Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. Why? Because he realized that for anybody to succeed in life, you must understand your mind, because mind is the cause of all the problems, and mind is the cure for all the problems. So mind is the fundamental tool that we must understand and learn. And if you can, what is the word? If you can harness it, then there is nothing in this world that you can't have. There is nothing in this world that can make you happy. and there's nothing in this world that can make you sad. You'll become insulated. There may be Andhi, Tufan, Bart, relationship going haywire, companies, you remain cool. Doesn't matter. Because nothing will affect you.
That's right.
Can anything you can think of has greater power than this? If you can get a skill, it's a skill. If you can master it, and then you become insulated, and then you sit like that. Whether book is selling or not, it doesn't matter. The day somebody finds something decent in it will sell. Why should I be worried? You know? Anyway, coming back to your question, if you have any.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I have this question. It just came up in my head that today youths are going into the depths of despair.
Okay.
So why do you think this is happening? And is it related to the loss of religious practices in them?
They're desperate or despair or whatever. And it's not just these two words. Any negative word that you can find
Yeah,
applies to young
depression,
person.
stress. Yeah.
Today's young person. They're worried about everything.
Yeah.
They're worried about passing exam. They're worried about whether I can secure 90 plus, right? More than that, their parents are concerned. Parents are worried whether they will. Or nobody talks about okay, what happens to those people who have got 96%. What have they done? Nothing. जिनके 95 आते हैं उनको एक महीने बाद वही एग्जाम दे दो दोबारा लिखने के लिए, उनके 69 भी नहीं आएंगे, ये मेरी गारंटी है. जिन्होंने आईएएस पास किया है उनको वही एग्जाम एक महीने बाद दे दो, they won't even pass the damn thing. Forget about topping it. Any student from anywhere in India, those who have topping the exams, you know why they're topping? Because they have decent parrots. They cram, and they're excellent in reproducing their memory on the day, and somehow they manage to keep calm. And if you can do that, you can write a decent exam. That's it. For that, they are getting marks. Right? Whether I will be able to maintain that calmness is a very unpredictable situation. I don't know whether I will be. If not, how can I? I have no answers for it. Why? Because I've never known the science which is so widely available, but I've never bothered. But I keep ignoring it because I don't want to associate myself. Oh, it's a dirty thing. Religion is a dirty thing, isn't it? Because that's what we have been told to believe in the last 75 years. Everybody else can practice, but Hindus should not. And as you will find, Hindu homes are depleted of anything religious. And whatever religious practices are, they're all mechanical, just doing it for the sake of doing it. So, young people, I basically write for young people because I have a lot of hope. Right? That if you can become as scientific as you are about your careers or your life, if you can be 10% serious about spirituality and as serious about your own self and invest in yourself, you can move mountains. And if think about it, if this nation is full of such young people who are so confident, who know there is nothing they cannot do, would they be committing crime? Would they be giving bribery? Would they be trying to do those sort of silly things? That they are desperate because they are facing uncertainty all the time. Uncertain future makes them desperate. And when uncertainty becomes intense, they commit suicide every year in India. Do you know that? Every year, 14 to 15,000 smart young kids kill themselves because they can't handle uncertainty. Happens everywhere, isn't it? We have got a factory in Kota, Rajasthan for suicide. Do you know?
No.
Do you know? Are you ignorant people or what? Newspaper is full of these suicides, isn't it?
No. The Kota factory.
Kota is in
Is it?
Rajasthan. Kota is a place which has all these coaching classes.
Yeah. Okay. That, yeah, that we know. Yeah.
So it's a factory for helping young people to
Pesticides.
kill
Yeah.
themselves.
And
So
do
they
you
are put
think?
into so much of competition with each other,
Mhm.
and all these smart kids, when they become so desperate, he's doing better, she's doing
Yeah.
better, I can't afford the, hence I won't pass the exam. If I don't pass the exam, what would happen? Blah 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 blah. So you create this blob of fear that you can't handle. So you create a fear, and then you struggle to handle with it, and then you kill themselves because you can't handle, tolerate it.
Yeah. Do you think after COVID, the suicide rates have increased?
No, this has been going on since I was a student. Since 1670s, the suicide rate is increasing like that. Now it has come to 14, 15,000. You can read, Google it. What is that NCRB data? No, no, NCRB, something record bureau. India has a
Okay.
record, so they've got record of all sort of things. So if you say young people suicide rate in India for 2025, in first 2 months, we are still in second month started, some people would already committed kill themselves. Just go and search for it. You'll find it's not my data. I'm not saying this is what is happening. What I'm saying is why it is happening. So, and there is another data which says 1 is to 15 is to 200, or 200 is to 15 is to 1. If one person is committing suicide, 15 people have come to this point who actually didn't commit,
Yeah.
who just on the verge of committing crime, but out of those 15, only one was brave, other was coward, so then suicide. For every 15, there are 200 people who were so desperate who had suicidal thoughts. So if 14,000 are committing suicide, multiply them by 200. You will know how many are so desperate, young people in India, and because they can't see that they can have a secure future, not that they would not have it, but they don't think. So if they can be helped, that the future is their own creation. It's not something which is sitting there. You can create a future, you can design it to whatever end you want. You can earn as much money as you want. But then you need to know yourself. For that, in my understanding, that is the purpose of spiritual practice. Everything else is helpful. अब जैसे पूजा पाठ ऐसे ही होता है कि जैसे ओलंपिक में जाने से पहले एन एथलीट इज प्रैक्टिसिंग एवरी डे. You practice, you run, you practice, you run, you practice. You have your own target. Oh, I'm 2 seconds late. You try again, you try again, you try again. So all these practices are like puja part that we do, but the final is Olympics or competition. Once you have done it, then you can do the actual job. You win every time. Every time you win. So it's the same thing. So I'm not saying these things are not good or useless. They're not. They're very scientific in their makeup, their prescription. Our problem is we don't understand it. We simply behave like parrots. समझे ये वाली पूजा कर लो, ये वाले भगवान का जाप कर लो, तो हम जाप कर रहे हैं. Why? Somehow, whatever is bothering me will stop bothering me. Why it will bother you anyway if you learn how to divert your mind. And it happens whenever your mind is diverted, you don't feel pain, isn't it? The moment your mind comes back to the same issue, you're bothered again. So all the problem is what that you have no control over your mind. By default, by something, if your mind is distracted from the concern, you don't feel pain. But the moment you come back or your mind come back to it, you're bothered again. And you don't know how do I manage it. So what spiritual teaches you is number one, mind is like a wild horse. If you try to touch wild horse, it will kick your ass a big time. It won't let you touch it. And it runs like a mad in jungle. And if you try to approach the horse, you can't approach it. So it requires a desperate effort to go near the horse and somehow capture it. Right? So what do? You bring that horse into a new environment called training arena. Have you seen these training places? So this trainer will bring the horse and provide a new environment. So that ring, so horse will start to walk into it.
Yeah.
It's confined. So these religious practices are confining your mind to remain spiritual and religious in your thought, rather than your thoughts are engaging into useless things. It becomes confined. So when you're doing regular puja, part, bhajan, kirtan, temper, your mind is thinking about those things all the time, right? So it's like that arena. And slowly, gradually, horse, the rider, or sorry, the trainer will start to walk with the mind. So you do your meditation practice every day, try to be in touch with your mind, right? Don't try to control it. Slowly, gradually, your mind will start to fall in place. So it will run away, bring it back, run away, bring it back, run away. With this practice will help you to gain concentration of your mind. So concentration of mind in Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga is called dharana,
Dharana, huh?
right?
Yes.
Dharana is a word which is used for concentrated mind, a mind which is concentrated, mind which can concentrate on something. When you gain this skill, next level of your competence is to sustain your concentration over a period of time. So when you can sustain your concentration over a period of time, it is called dhyana, meditation. Okay.
Yeah.
So meditation is not something to be done. Meditation is a state of your mind. Mind which is remains concentrated on a sustained basis, which you can engage in anything you want to engage in. Think about it. Your senses are distracting you. Everything is happening. You're sitting in this hall, but you can keep your mind calm and collected and remain focused on whatever you're doing. Don't get distracted by anything.
Yeah.
That is called dhyan. When you achieve that avastha, what you're doing two things with your mind. First, you're not letting your mind to wander in the world, right?
Yes.
Most important thing is your mind does two things. Sorry, one thing. As soon as an information reaches mind, it splits it into two things, either good or bad, binary,
Ah, binaries.
loss or gain,
Yeah.
victory or loss, insult or praise, right? As soon as this binary is done, it is done subconsciously, you don't even become aware of it, but that's what you have to become aware that this is what your mind is doing. So moment you have a negative interpretation of the stimuli going in, your system will generate corresponding emotions and feelings in you that you feel and experience. You're pained, right? The moment you define something positively, you experience pleasure.
Yes.
So pain and pleasure has nothing to do with the external world. It's to do with how you define, how your mind defines its external things. So if you can learn the art of letting your mind not define things, you would neither have pain nor pleasure. And it's not rocket science. This is achievable, you can achieve it in a very short period of time. So no sadhana, nothing is required. No, you know,
Yeah.
कौन सी यात्रा होती है वो वैष्णो
Kedar.
देवी
हाँ.
या
Vaishno
ये
Devi.
धाम वो धाम, you can still do it,
Kedarnath.
but ultimately you have to master your mind. Once you master your mind and experience that you have kept your sensory stimulus redundant, no matter what somebody says to you, it does not affect you. Right now, whether somebody says or not, why he was looking at me, चालू हो गया, उसने वैसे ऐसे क्यों बोला?
It
What do you mean?
happens. It happens.
It happens all the time,
Yeah.
every time. यहाँ से घर जाओगे, you will be thinking 10 things like that.
Yeah.
उसने मेरे से सही से बात नहीं करी, उसने मेरे से ड्रिंक के लिए नहीं पूछा, क्यों नहीं पूछा, there's something wrong with me, she hates me, she likes me. All these things are happening all the time, and these are the things which is bothering me, and these botherations are my experiences of life. Idea of spirituality is gain control of your external environment, not control on them, but control of it. so that they do not inflict any unwanted effect on you. If you want to be affected, just get affected. But if not without your permission, no experience should be caused in you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it was a very
Thank you.
insightful session, and I myself took away very a lot of information.
Thank you.